Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Senator Susan Collins raised the issue of tariffs yesterday at a Senate Appropriations Committee meeting, stating the impact on Maine people. Plus, Lubec residents are now facing a choice as to how the town will pay its share of Washington County's tax debt. And only 2 more weeks are left for the city of Bangor to clear the railroad encampment. We'll have more on that coming up as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up, but as always, we thank you for joining us. Overnight last night, we did receive more snow, but I'm sure as the morning goes, the plow crews will be out tending to those roads, so there shouldn't be many worries out there. We'll start out this morning by getting a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. For fast, beautiful countertops, trust Stone Artisans, your main stone supplier. 2493040. Alrighty, here we go. We have advisories posted. A winter weather advisory in the northern parts of the state, and that will last until Thursday at around 1 a.m. Accumulating snow will be a problem at around 2 to 5 inches. Higher totals farther off toward the north with a gale warning until Friday at around 1 p.m. In the meantime, we've had some snow earlier this morning that is now tracking off towards the north and east with some accumulations in a few areas. Of course, we're watching for that next opportunity for some accumulating precipitation, not only for snow but for some rainfall as well. And there's that next round right there. It looks a little more impressive. Starting out as snow for some places, but switching over to rain soon. Here's Futurecast right here. Starting off this afternoon as snow, switching over to rain. It will start to back off as we head towards Thursday morning. But your hourly forecast moving forward, we're going to get the precipitation later on this afternoon with temperatures warming up. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll look forward to that a little later on. Well, first this morning, electric heaters may have played a role in a fire that killed a person in Windsor on Monday night. Just before 6 p.m., the Windsor Fire Department was called to a reported structure fire at 489 Ridge Road. When they arrived, they found heavy fire conditions throughout the residence. A spokesperson says they got information suggesting an occupant may have been trapped inside. During their search, they found a deceased female believed to be 77-year-old Lorraine Knox, who lived in that home. Investigators remained on the scene for much of the evening, trying to determine the cause of the fire. The fire is still under investigation. The medical examiner will do an autopsy to determine the cause of death and positively identify the victim. A spokesperson says it was reported that Knox had been experiencing furnace issues and was using electric heaters to warm the residents during the recent cold weather. Well, authorities are investigating another fire in Fort Fairfield that displaced 3 people. Crews responded to 46 Fort Hill Street for a fire in an apartment building a little after 8 a.m. on Monday. Department of Public Safety spokesperson Shannon Moss says one of the second-floor tenants returned home and noticed smoke coming from the upstairs. Moss says he left the building and called 911 after finding fire from the top of his door. According to Moss, the other second-floor tenant found flames blocking his exit and escaped by breaking a window, climbing onto the roof, and sliding to the ground. He then sustained some leg injuries. A first-floor tenant also escaped, but 2 cats died in the fire. The fire marshal's office is still investigating the cause as well. Maine's Attorney General says he's happy that a federal judge has struck down President Trump's executive order blocking wind energy projects. The judge said the effort to halt virtually all leasing of wind farms on federal lands and waters violates U.S. law. Judge Patty Saris of the U.S. District Court for the District of Massachusetts vacated the order, which President Trump signed on January 20th. Judge Saris ruled in favor of a coalition of state attorney generals from 17 other states, including Maine, that challenged Trump's Day 1 order, pausing leasing and permitting for wind energy projects. The White House said offshore wind projects were given unfair treatment during the Biden administration. Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey released a statement that says, quote, Mainers care about protecting our environment. What the federal administration's position is on wind power, it does not have the right to arbitrarily ban development of this sustainable energy resource. I'm gratified that the court agreed that the administration had once again overstepped. Senator Susan Collins raised the issue of tariffs and their impact on Maine people and industries during a meeting of the Senate Appropriations Committee yesterday. The Trump administration's U.S. Trade Representative, Jamieson Greer, answered questions from the committee during the meeting. Collins asked him about how to lessen the impact of the 50% tariff currently in place for imported steel and aluminum, which she said is raising costs for the lobster and blueberry industries, specifically the cost of essential equipment like traps and critical harvesting equipment. She said the Commerce Department terminated the exclusions process earlier this year for steel and aluminum, and with it a possible avenue for relief.
For example, the sharp knives that are used for certain mowing equipment for blueberries are available only in Canada. It's not as if there is a distributor in Maine or other places that can fill the need for the blueberry growers. Is reopening the exclusions process under consideration?
You know, Section 232 is, as you know, is a Commerce Department program, so I don't control how that's operated. However, I'm happy to raise that with Secretary Lutnick.
Meanwhile, with less than 2 weeks until the city's deadline to clear Bangor's railroad encampment, urgency and uncertainty are growing. Our Alex Schley with more.
It's not enough time, and this is going to be a disaster.
Last month, the city of Bangor posted signs ordering people to vacate the railroad encampment by December 19th. But as the deadline approaches, some city leaders say in order to successfully transition people out of the area, they need a better plan.
We really needed more time to talk to folks here, to engage with what is the correct way to do things in order to not only mitigate harm, but to also mitigate costs.
The most pressing question is, where will people go? City officials say two main options emerged during Monday's city council meeting and workshop. The first, have existing warming shelters absorb the encampment population.
Roughly 80 individuals utilizing warming centers overnight currently, and the city's total capacity is about 160 spaces.
The other option, create a designated area for a homeless encampment where people can live with consistent access to services. Leaders are considering a number of city properties that could accommodate a sanctioned encampment, including Bass Park, Hope Park, the Bird Sanctuary, and Co Park.
Whatever site that we choose, we have to choose one that's going to work not just for the city, but also for the population here.
According to the Public Health and Community Service Director, Jennifer Gunderman, choosing a site is only the first step. It must be operable, safe, and supported.
What's going to be provided for sanitation, for water. There's also the location in terms of, again, going back to safety. Is it a space that can be sort of really designated?
The City Council workshop is set to reconvene next Monday, December 15th. And city leaders say they expect a more definitive plan after that meeting. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news this morning, Lubec residents are now facing a choice as to how the town will pay its share of Washington County's multi-million-dollar tax debt. Lubec has been asked to consider prepaying its share in order to help the county address its $8 million debt. Lubec's share totals a little over $423,000. A public hearing is now set for 5 p.m. on Wednesday, December 17th, to inform the town about the available options for paying their portion of the debt. The options include cashing out investment CDs, which will mean incurring several $1,000s in penalties. A special town meeting will follow the public hearing for voters to ultimately decide how the town pays off its portion of debt. Well, last night, the Augusta City Planning Board heard from those hoping to open a homeless shelter out of the Community Living Center building, which is located at 16 East Chestnut Street. Betty St. Hilaire is the executive director of United Community Living Center. She and other stakeholders presented their plan and took numerous questions from the board. Hilaire says they plan to start with 20 beds and would run it as a stepping stone program that aims to temporarily shelter people as they try to find permanent stability. She says they will potentially admit individuals who have had past or present substance abuse issues, but says they will also have a strict and highly structured program.
Opening the shelter will make our community safer. Instead of our unhoused neighbors roaming the streets, sleeping in lobbies and parks and doorways, they will have a safe and stable place to stay and non-judgmental support to begin rebuilding their lives. This is how real progress happens, through compassion, structure, and evidence-based services that give people a path forward.
Multiple concerns have been raised by the public, including possible dangerous behaviors on part of the program residents, including smoking outside the building in proximity to businesses and play areas, lack of sufficient oversight, the impact on property values, and crime rates in the neighborhood. The planning board ultimately postponed the consideration of the meeting, which lasted several hours. The time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, kids that play for Brewer Youth Hockey took some time off the ice to Christmas shop for kids in need. But first, let's take another look at our forecast. For today, mostly cloudy skies with a chance of rain and snow in the afternoon, highs around 39. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and snow, temperatures right around 32 degrees. And for tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a chance of snow showers, highs around 35. We'll be right back.
The insurance companies know the name Joe Bornstein.
Aggressive, powerful.
They got me way more than I was told I'd get.
A lot of money, fast.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call the law offices of Joe Bornstein right now.
Keep your next building project on track when you plan ahead with help from Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center specialists offer professional plans with customizable 3D renderings available to bring your project to life. Once your design is finalized and approved, you'll receive a full materials list. And when you buy all your materials from them, Hammond will refund your design fees. Get your building project off to the right start when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
With irresistibly smooth melting chocolate in every Lindor, you can melt into every holiday moment. This year, bring out Lindor from the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
When Blazing Trails located in Lincoln want to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Blazing Trails is Lincoln's #1 trusted dispensary, providing outstanding product and customer service to eastern and central Maine.
And bang.
They're demanding every penny.
We're not paying.
It's the law offices of Joe Bornstein. They'll be going after at least triple.
Call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
You know Matt pretty well. Did he give you any advice?
He said that I should use 26 words or more. When every word counts.
Trash panda.
Raccoon.
Yeah. You hand me a trash panda. That was gangster. It pays to choose wisely.
Wed, Thurs.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We just won it!
25 words or less every weekday.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Christmas is not that far away, and the folks at Manna Ministries are hoping you can help. You can go to their building at 95 Center Street in Bangor to pick a tag off the tree and find a family or individual to give gifts for the holidays. Executive Director Bill Ray says this has been a tough year for everyone, and he knows that some people may not have a lot, but you do not have to give much to make a difference.
We want to bless this community. And you need to understand, it's not just the homeless that we're working for, it's the working poor, fixed income. We've got people coming in and signing up for a Christmas gift. They need coats, they need shoes, they need boots, they need things to stay warm.
Ray says they are targeting the whole family, especially the adults who take care of them. He says he's been doing this for a very long time, and the need this year is much more than he's ever seen before. You can go to 95 Center Street in Bangor if your family needs assistance with gifts, or you can drop off a donation. You can also send monetary donations to Manna at P.O. Box 2763 in Bangor. Well, hockey players are known to be physical and often intimidating competitors. But as Jody Hersey tells us, when they are off the ice, you'll find that many of them have a heart of gold.
The Brewer Youth Hockey League recently took time off the ice in order to shop for Christmas gifts for kids in the Adoptive and Foster Families of Maine program.
They sponsored about 26 children for Adoptive and Foster Families of Maine.
For 6 years in a row now, Brewers youth hockey players have donated to this nonprofit, collecting stuffed animals, games, sleds, and other items for children in need.
So it's really important that our coaches were implementing giving back to the community because it's really important and people really need it.
Travis Bryant is the executive director of Adoptive and Foster Families of Maine, as well as the Kinship Program. He is also a hockey coach. He says many of the lessons the players learn on the ice will help them in life.
So we're all going to lose a game, we're all going to miss the puck, but how do you recover from that? And so those pieces have just meshed so well in my life coming up with sports, and then also in working with foster and adoptive and kinship caregivers. They deal with a lot of tough stuff. And so how do you just keep on moving forward?
This year, the nonprofit moved from Hancock Street in Bangor to Twin City Plaza in Brewer. Edith Stoll of Carmel stopped by on Tuesday to donate hundreds of cloth bags that can be used in place of wrapping paper.
I actually got 577 bags made by all my friends, my quilt group, my church group, just friends that came out of the corner. It's fun. It's fun to give.
In Brewer, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 8:16. After the break, Thomas College is improving their robotics program by investing in the future workforce. More on that ahead. Plus, there are new details about that Florida plane crash on Interstate 95. These stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Maine.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Autumn of Life Home Care is a great place to work. The team here provided me with all the opportunities and experience necessary to grow within the company, all while working around my busy college schedule. They provided all the necessary licensing and training. It truly was the job that kickstarted my career.
Autumn of Life Home Care is a licensed agency with personal support specialists.
Let our compassionate, reliable, considerate caregivers make your life a little easier by providing assistance for you or your loved one.
Autumn of Life Home Care. We focus on you.
No matter what happens in D.C.,
there's one thing we can count on.
Susan Collins always delivers for Maine.
Susan's Law restored Social Security benefits for thousands of Mainers like me.
Collins is protecting our lobster industry
by fighting unfair regulations.
Susan always has our back. And Collins Law expands care to help Mainers fight Alzheimer's.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
I appreciate everything she is doing.
Call. Thanks, Senator Collins, for fighting and winning for Maine.
Some fencing companies hang it up come fall and winter. Not Allen Farm Fence. Allen Farm Fence plans, designs, and installs fences for homes or businesses statewide, even when the leaves are falling or the snow is flying. With Allen Farm's Do It Right, install to last, make the customer smile service. Vinyl, wood, chain link, or ornamental. For fences that last, call Allen Farm first. Allen Farm Fence, because you deserve the best. Get your free estimate right now at allenfarmfence.com.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Thomas College has announced a new robotics initiative that aims to grow the robotics sector for students in the Central Maine area. Our Grace Blanchard shares more.
Academic institutions statewide are heavily investing in training for the future robotics workforce. Thomas College in Waterville is taking those efforts even further with their new program.
We're excited to launch this out to really expand the capacity for robotics here in Central Maine.
The college is helping to launch 3 new First LEGO League Challenge robotics teams through an initiative funded by the Maine Space Grant Consortium and the Perloff Family Foundation.
There's a demand for students to connect, to get their hands dirty, to actually play in the real world, and so this opportunity meets that demand.
The NASA-supported project is the first of its kind in the state and is designed to break down barriers for new robotics teams across grades K through 12 by providing materials, training, and mentorship.
And there are schools that had robotics teams that no longer do, that this will provide them with that opportunity to get back into that game.
Educators say robotics can help bridge the gap between classroom learning and real-world tech applications, inspiring future innovators and supporting the economy.
I think Maine needs to step it up as far as getting people involved in all of these technologies and science and engineering in order for Maine to compete in the global economy.
Thomas College hopes as this project progresses, the model can be replicated by other institutions as well.
I hope that teachers who are participating in this are inspired to continue these programs, to continue to deliver these opportunities to future generations to come.
To learn more about the project, you can visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Waterville, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 8:20. Let's get a full look at our weather forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. For fast, beautiful countertops, trust Stone Artisans, your main stone supplier, 2493040. Alrighty, here we go. We have a winter weather advisory posted until Thursday at around 1 a.m. as we're watching for snow accumulations in the northern parts of the state. Also a gale warning up until 1 p.m. Friday. Along the coast, it's going to be a mess in some areas with our next area of low pressure that will be developing. Wave heights at around 6 to even 7 feet in some cases too. So already it's getting pretty active out there. A little bit lower farther out towards sea, but that may be picking up too with these waves of low pressure that will be passing through. We've had one area of low pressure passing through this morning, a little bit of snow occurring as a result of that. Not a whole lot, but there's more activity where that came from, and that's this area of low pressure right here. It will start off as snow for some places, switching over to rain as temperatures rise coming up. So here's Futurecast. Again, there's a snowfall arriving this afternoon. As temperatures rise, we'll switch over to rainfall, staying as snow farther off towards the north, hence why the winter weather advisory. This will last until early Thursday morning. Before we get it out of here, some snow showers returning as we head towards your Thursday. And then once we head towards Thursday night, the gusty winds really get going. Some leftover snow showers by early Friday morning. Here's the thinking on the snow chances. A wide range of 2 to 5 inches. Further off towards the north, Caribou could see a lot more as well. Further down toward the south, obviously with the switch over to rain, a lot lower snow totals expected. But for today, here we go. So mostly cloudy, afternoon rain and snow opportunities with highs in the upper 30s. This high temperature hit late in the day with that south wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, lower 30s for the overnight low, mostly cloudy, rain and snow. Southwest wind at around 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid 30s, mostly cloudy, snow showers. West wind at around 25 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. Mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid 20s, upper 20s coming up for your Saturday under a partly cloudy sky, and snow chances coming up for your Sunday with highs in the upper 20s.
We're traveling all across America, talking to people about their hearts. How's the heart?
Good.
You sure?
I think so.
How do you know? Let me show you something.
But 2 fingers right on those pads? Look at that. That's your heart.
That is pretty awesome.
With Cardio Mobile, you can take a medical-grade EKG in just 30 seconds from anywhere. Cardio Mobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. Get Cardio Mobile for yourself or a loved one this holiday. On sale now for just $69 at Cardio.com or Amazon.
Orpheus was a poor boy, but he had a gift to give. And Eurydice was a young girl, but she'd seen how the world was. She fell in spite of herself, in love. Just how far would you go for her?
Craving bold flavor and comfort food that hits just right? Nanny's has something for you. From our breakfast buffet to our lunch baskets and specialty pizzas, we have something to satisfy everyone's cravings. Serving up great food Wednesdays through Sundays. Now serving alcohol and open until 8 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Nanny's, where good times are always on the menu.
Fox Primetime Hoops. Your Saturday night starts here. Third-ranked Michigan and rising star Yaxel Lendeborg are making their move in the Big Ten.
Hello!
But young gun Miles Rice has eyes on taking Maryland all the way.
Another star performance!
2 programs looking to make a statement under the bright lights. Michigan versus Maryland. Saturday, 8 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
New details about a dramatic plane crash on I-95 in Florida. We're now hearing from the first person on the scene. ABC's Sophie Flay has the latest.
This morning, witnesses are speaking to Good Morning America after this terrifying moment on I-95 in Central Florida.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
A small plane apparently losing power in both engines, making an emergency landing, crashing on top of that car.
A plane just crashed onto a
highway.
On a highway.
So then all of a sudden the front wheel hit the car, just came crashing down, sparks flying, debris everywhere, broken car parts.
Bystanders rushing to the site. The driver, a 57-year-old woman, emerging from her crushed Toyota Camry.
I don't know. God is good. Just know God is good.
Pastor Bernard Wigley was one of the first on the scene.
If she had other passengers, they would have all been smashed because the passenger side and the back seat and the trunk, the airplane just smashed it. Only place she could have survived was the driver's seat.
The woman was treated for minor injuries. The pilot and passenger on the plane were not injured. The FAA says the plane had been in the air for more than 1 hour for an instructional flight when it suffered that engine issue.
Later on Good Morning America, a nurse who responded to the crash explains why the driver thought it was a truck, not a plane, that hit her car. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Frustrations are mounting with President Trump, his comments on the states of the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, saying Ukraine is losing the war. This as negotiations face gridlock over territory. Fox News' Kevin Yursky reports on the latest impacts.
Efforts to advance a U.S. proposed peace plan to end the war between Russia and Ukraine are dragging on, with land concessions a major sticking point for Russia and still a non-starter for Ukraine. In a message to reporters through WhatsApp, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky this week said, quote, "Undoubtedly, Russia insists for us to give up territories. We clearly don't want to give up anything. That's what we're fighting for." Zelensky said Ukraine has no right to cede any land under the country's constitution and international law, adding, quote, "We don't have a moral right either." During an interview with Politico aired Tuesday, President Donald Trump said Ukraine has lost a lot of territory, adding, quote, "Russia has the upper hand." The commander-in-chief applying more pressure on President Zelensky to highly consider his administration's proposal, which includes calls for Ukraine to hand over control of the eastern Donbas region to Moscow.
Well, he's going to have to get on the ball and start accepting things. You know, when you're losing, because you're losing.
As Zelensky was in Italy Tuesday meeting with officials to reaffirm support for his country, Pope Leo stressed the need for Europe to be involved in the ongoing peace talks.
Seeking a peace agreement without including Europe in the conversations is not realistic. The war is in Europe. I think in the guarantees of security that are also being sought today and in the future, Europe must be part of them.
Meanwhile, in Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin awarded medals to soldiers who have fought in the almost 4-year-old war. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
More parents are now speaking out, describing how their teenagers have fallen victim to an online terror network known as 764. The group targets children for violence, and now lawmakers are proposing a way to crack down. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio with the latest.
It's the group the FBI describes as a new form of modern-day terrorism, and it's targeting children.
They're motivated purely by chaos, weaponizing our nation's children to be able to create terror.
The group is called 764. The FBI says its goal is to cause chaos through, among other methods, sextortion. The group's anonymous members find vulnerable teens online and elicit private information and sexual images from them. They then use that material to coerce victims into harming themselves or others while streaming live on social media.
The videos, the chats that we are seeing and reading are the most graphic that I have ever seen in my 20-year history.
More than 2,000 reports of abuse were tied to 764 or similar networks in the first 9 months of this year, double the number last year.
I would give anything to have my son back.
On Capitol Hill yesterday, Tamia Woods told senators her 17-year-old son took his life after being targeted by a group like 764.
I just don't understand how hard that is to protect our children.
Experts say the law has not caught up to these cyber criminals.
There are no federal statutes that adequately criminalize the coercive conduct of 764 and similar groups.
Senators have now introduced a proposal to criminalize the intentional coercing of minors to harm themselves or others.
Do you all agree that we've, as a nation, miserably failed our children? That we have hearings and we talk and we've done very little to protect them as of this state?
Yes. Yes.
That's a damning indictment of all of us.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
This morning, President Trump trying to reassure Americans the U.S. economy is healthy and that his economic policies are working. But a new poll shows a majority of Americans don't agree. Once again, ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
This morning, President Trump confronting the #1 concern for voters, the rising cost of living. At a campaign-style rally in Pennsylvania, the president focusing on the economy, quick to blame the Biden administration for high prices, even though he's now been in office for almost a year.
And I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices, and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message.
The president acknowledging he won the election in large part because he promised to bring prices down on day one. But he now calls the issue of affordability a, quote, Democrat hoax.
They say, oh, he doesn't realize prices are high. Prices are coming down very substantially. But they have a new word. You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability.
The latest Reuters Ipsos poll shows 56% of voters disapprove of how the president is handling the cost of living, with just 31% approving. The price of groceries is up from a year ago, including products impacted by Trump's tariffs. Coffee is up 41%, sirloin steak 20%, frozen orange juice 12%, and bananas now cost nearly 9% more.
His policies haven't helped. Tariffs and all kinds of trade distortions have caused prices to go up.
The lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania says Trump can't deny reality.
Both Democrats and Republicans have agreed that the Trump economic policies have been failing Pennsylvanians and been failing Americans.
In addition to high consumer prices, government data shows the job growth has slowed during Trump's second term, and unemployment has risen to its highest level in 4 years. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up on the second half of the newscast, Santa is joining us once again to read Christmas lists and bring some holiday cheer to the newsroom. Don't go away.
Make the most of your season during the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. Gift yourself some savings and visit your local Kia dealer today. Get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus 1,000 retail bonus cash on specially tagged 2025 Telluride, Sorento, and Sportage vehicles.
Hi, I'm Tony Hafford from TC Hafford Basement Systems, the all things basement-y company. Basement waterproofing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. Since 1991, over 15,000 Maine homeowners have trusted TC Hafford Basement Systems to fix their basements. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basement-y.
Make the most of your season during the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. Gift yourself some savings and visit your local Kia dealer today. Get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus 1,000 retail bonus cash on specially tagged 2025 Telluride, Sorento, and Sportage vehicles.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
We turn now to an experiment being watched around the world. Kids under 16 being banned from social media. ABC's Hannah Battah with that story.
This morning, kids across Australia are locked out of their social media accounts as a first-of-its-kind law takes effect. Children under 16 are now banned from having accounts on major social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
This reform will change lives for Australian kids and allowing them to just have their childhood. For Australian parents, enabling them to have greater peace of mind.
But not all young Australians agree.
We will be completely silenced and cut off from our country and the rest of the world with this ban.
Social media companies are also pushing back, saying the ban is misguided and could make kids less safe. Meta saying, "We've consistently raised concerns that this poorly developed law could push teens to less regulated platforms or apps. Many of these apps do not offer the same safety features, such as teen accounts, which we have spent years developing." Companies like Meta face hefty fines if they fail to enforce the age restrictions. Australia's government says the ban will protect young people's mental health, citing research linking heavy social media use to bullying and body image issues. Some experts say the law will shield kids from these harms and force platforms to adopt stronger protections. Others insist a blanket ban is not the solution.
You're removing them from the digital information era. You're removing them from the idea of being from political speech. You're removing them from access to information that could be supplemental to what they're learning in education.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. For fast, beautiful countertops, trust Stone Artisans, your main stone supplier. 2493040. Alrighty, here we go. We have advisories posted. A winter weather advisory in the northern parts of the state, and that will last until Thursday at around 1 a.m. Accumulating snow will be a problem at around 2 to 5 inches. Higher totals farther off toward the north with a gale warning until Friday at around 1 p.m. In the meantime, we've had some snow earlier this morning that is now tracking off towards the north and east with some accumulations in a few areas. Of course, we're watching for that next opportunity for some accumulating precipitation, not only for snow, but for some rainfall as well. And there's that next round right there. It looks a little more impressive. Starting out as snow for some places, but switching over to rain soon. Here's Futurecast right here. Starting off this afternoon as snow, switching over to rain. It will start to back off as we head towards Thursday morning. But your hourly forecast moving forward, we're going to get the precipitation later on this afternoon with temperatures warming up. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. Still to come here this morning, Jack Webb with sports and Santa will join us in studio. Don't go away.
Ghirardelli caramel and chocolate, they're great on their own, but together, it's like
The Watson to your Sherlock, the SpongeBob to your Patrick, the bestie to your spa day, the apprentice to your sensei, the partner to your picnic, the hero to your sidekick, the caramel to your chocolate, the chocolate to your caramel. Perfect pairs, share a square. Ghirardelli makes life a bite better.
Dad, this guy says that we act like Gillette Labs is some miracle, but it's just another razor?
Gillette Labs ain't a miracle, but it sure as heck ain't my old razor. It's Gillette's best shave. And with up to 30 shaves per cartridge, I'm spending less. Its ultra-sharp blades last 50% longer.
And give you a fresh blade feeling time after
Time after time after time. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Keeps getting better.
Come in and visit AMHG Works, Bangor's #1 gift shop, located at 36 Springer Drive in the Rennie's Plaza. We have special gifts for you, your furry companion, and that special someone you are in need of a gift for. It's worth a trip in for unique American-made gifts. Here at AMHG Works, everything is American-made, and we are open 7 days a week for your convenience. American-made home goods. We look forward to seeing you. Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At C&R Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the C&R promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with C&R Carpet Cleaning.
99 to beat, all new tonight on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. We've got a packed one for you. We'll start with Maine men's hockey as they're gearing up for a midweek clash with UMass Lowell down in Portland on Wednesday night. The Black Bears are coming off a 2-loss weekend to rival UNH at the Alphon. Their most disappointing series in a couple of seasons. However, they get to wipe the slate clean and move on to the Riverhawks. Maine forward Owen Fowler noted that this quick turnaround couldn't have come at a better time. Head coach Ben Barr says the response to this weekend will be getting back to the basics of Black Bear hockey.
You know, we're just got to go back to valuing hard work. You know, that's it. We got to play the guys that that are gonna improve our culture, and that isn't always maybe who is the best player, and that's or the most talented player. So. That's a coaching conundrum at every level and all the time. But like, you know, if you want your culture to improve, you got to value those things.
That's a 7 p.m. start down at the Cross Insurance Arena. Red Sox fans, I know you're in hibernation, but the Sox brass is hard at work down at MLB winter meetings in Florida. Maine's own Tom Caron caught up with Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow to ask if he's comfortable with the pitching staff, among some other things.
Yeah, it's true that we can feel good with the rotation where it is, and also, still attempt to identify meaningful upgrades, and I think that's where we are.
You've talked about adding that bat that could make a difference in the middle of this lineup. How is that looking right now? How's the market sort of coming together on the offensive side?
Yeah, I think as we've seen, it's generally been slow to materialize, but we're having conversations with other teams. And agents, and still recognize that there's, at this point, some work to be done.
We'll now recap what has been a wild week in the MLB. Starting down in Boston, the Red Sox have traded infielder Vaughn Grisham to the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for outfield prospect Isaiah Jackson. After 2 years of on and off production, Grisham's time in Boston has come to an end. The now back-to-back World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers have signed ex-Mets closer Edwin Diaz to a 3-year deal worth $69 million, and the Phillies have reached a 5-year deal worth $150 million with left fielder Kyle Schwarber, who many thought would hit free agency, but he now remains in Philly. No idea how the Dodgers are still paying people. Let's go local now. Head over to Brewer, where both the girls and boys teams took on Ellsworth. We'll get started with the girls, who took the court first in the first half. It was all witches on this play. Jill Ford gets open from 3, fires and drills the shot, and on the very next possession, the Witches go right back to Ford. She holds and then shoots, and again, the shot is good at the end of the half. Eagles get 3 going when Elizabeth Bowles drains the shot. Eagles are down double digits right after halftime, but early on, here's Bowles coming out of nowhere, swiping this ball, and she takes it all the way to the net for 2, and the tables turn the rest of the half. The Eagles climbed all the way back into this game, and this 2 from Sydney Mason late helped Ellsworth earn the 44-43 victory. Next up, same matchup, but now it was the boys' turn to take the court. We'll start on the opening tip-off and talk about gaining early momentum, which is win the tip, take it into their zone, and instantly find junior captain Cody Hughes for the 3. Later on, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go right back to Hughes, and he hits it again, but the Eagles answer back here as Evan Haskell knocks down the triple to keep his guys in it. The Witches are going to get back to work. After a long series of passes, the ball's going to find freshman Caleb Campbell, and his three-pointer is good. If we're being real, it was just raining threes for the entire first half from both teams, and Colby Eaton wants in on the fun. He cashes in. Ellsworth would ride that momentum into the second half and come back for a 58-54 victory. We go over to Hamden, where the Windjammers of Camden Hills made a trip to the stable. We pick it up in the second. Mason Studley catches and lets it fly. He drains a 3 to put Hamden up 5 shortly after. It's Sawyer Worcester. He's going to drive, pull up, and hit the mid-range jumper. Nothing but net. Broncos fans are used to that one. But here come the Jammers. Thomas Ledbetter throws it ahead to Healy, who lays it up for 2. Now we get to watch one of the state premier players, Nolan Ames, go to work. He's starting to heat up, spins, pulls up, and drains the midi to tie it at 21. Next possession, it's Ames again. This time it's a step back. He gets it to rattle home, and Camden Hills wins 56-48. A look at some other scores from around the area. Class D boys, Stearns just edging out Penobscot Valley, and Class B boys, John Bath picking up a 51-43 win over Waterville. Class C boys basketball, Foxcroft Academy 61 over Dexter 44, and Class D PCHS gets the win over Penquist Valley 50. We're mixed the score there. Sorry about that. Class A girls basketball, Bangor with a big win over Meslonsky 68-34. Class B girls, John Babs 48-21 over Waterville. Lawrence 70, Oceanside 62 in Class B girls, and then in Class B girls basketball, Herman 33, Nokomis 25. That's what I get for getting to use the supers that Jeff made me today. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call Joe Bornstein, right now.
Call the firm that has been getting justice for Mainers for 50 years. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Tired of worrying whether your credit will hold you back from getting a car? At Down East Credit Union, we believe everyone deserves reliable transportation, even with less than perfect credit. Let us guide you every step of the way. If your credit score is under 670, or you've had setbacks like bankruptcy or repossession, that doesn't mean you're out of options. We'll help you get pre-approved, guide you through car shopping, and work with you on a plan to rebuild your credit. Reach out to Down East Credit Union today. Let's get you on the road, confidently.
I moved from Dallas to Los Angeles all by myself. The order of things I wanted to set up was internet, water, then power. I needed to take a shower, but I really did need the internet for work and to watch my shows. That's kind of a crazy thing to admit in front of a camera. Pretend I didn't say that. I got to Spectrum. I was so relieved that I was getting the best bang for my buck. It was a huge weight taken off of my shoulders.
Real customers, real savings. To see how much you can save, visit spectrum.com/save.
If you've been injured, call Joe. The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Phone lines are open right now to take your call.
I called Joe, and I got way more.
They fight hard for injured Mainers.
Call Joe at 207-CALL-JOE.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today we are joined once again by the one and only Santa Claus. Santa, thank you so much for coming in.
It's so nice to see you, Janessa.
Yes, you too. I know we got a little snow this morning. How did the sleigh hold up in that snow?
Well, we do like the snow because
Right.
landing in that gravel is kind of hard on the runners. We like a snow bank to land on.
Yes.
But I was coming in from the North Pole, and I have to bank around from the west coming east
Okay.
into Presque Isle, and there was a pretty serious snow squall out in eastern Canada and mid-eastern Canada.
Okay.
And so when I came into Bangor, it was very nice. It was a great landing.
Good. I'm glad it went
Rudolph's
smooth.
nose was nice and bright. We didn't lose the front of the sleigh in
Good.
that snow squall.
Well, that's very important. Well, we do also have some Christmas lists to
Yes.
read. Very important business to attend to if you would like to get to that.
I would love to. That's one of my favorite things.
Of
you know.
course.
All right, I've got Kyle's wish list here. Lego, the Star Wars Star Destroyer set. Very popular this year.
Is it?
Yes, it is. And bike tire lights. That's always fun,
Oh.
especially at nighttime. A smartphone controlled paper airplane kit. Now,
Oh.
that's the first time I've had that request this year.
That's
down here
high-tech.
in Maine. Nintendo Switch video game Super Mario Odyssey.
Very
Well, I'll have to see what I can do.
Yes.
And Kyle, that was
Those
from Kyle.
Nintendo games seem to be quite popular as well.
Very popular this year. The
Yep.
Nintendo Switch 2 is one of the most requested game consoles this year.
Okay.
And Maxwell here from Brewer, he wants a telescope and magnetiles. Now, magnetiles and Roblox are very, very popular.
What
this
are
year.
magnetiles? I've
They're
never
a
heard
set
of that.
of angles that you can put together. They stick right together with magnets on them, and the elves really enjoy them.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, yes. And Lily from Orrington, something familiar about that. I'll
really?
think about that. Lily from Orrington wants Barbies, grips for a gymnastics bar, a hamster. I'll have to check in with her parents about that, you know, and chapsticks, which are wonderful stocking stuffers. I remember now. I saw Lily's name this morning. I saw Kyle and Maxwell as well.
Oh.
I was eating my Captain Crunch, the Christmas version, of course,
Yes.
this morning, and the updated list of the nice list came in.
Oh.
And I saw all three of these folks. As well, I saw little Easton on it.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun.
Well,
So,
that's awesome news that they're all on the nice list
all
this year.
on the nice list.
Well, I do have a question for you too, Santa.
Well,
Is Craig Colson still on the nice list after missing you today?
well, Craig has been under the weather, according
He
to
has.
the elf on the shelf at his house.
Yes.
And he's been staying low-key, and there's
Yes.
been no demonstrative issues this
Okay.
week, so that always weighs good for him.
Okay, so it's looking positive.
It looks good right now. I have to check the list one more time
Okay.
as we get close to Christmas Eve.
Perfect. Well, one more question for you,
right.
Santa, too. What is maybe one of your favorite gifts to give?
I love to go into hospitals
Mm-hmm.
and see the little children that just need encouragement. And I
Yeah.
try to bring Christmas cheer to them.
Well, you
so
absolutely do a good job.
That's one of my favorite things.
Well, that's awesome. Santa, thank you so much for coming into the studio again.
My pleasure. Can I come back next week and see you again?
You sure can.
That will be
we
good.
will plan
Maybe
on it.
Craig will be here.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes, that would be good.
We're going to turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. For fast, beautiful countertops, trust Stone Artisans, your main stone supplier. 2493040. Alrighty, here we go. We have a winter weather advisory posted until Thursday at around 1 a.m. as we're watching for snow accumulations in the northern parts of the state. Also, a gale warning morning up until 1 p.m. Friday. Along the coast, it's going to be a mess in some areas with our next area of low pressure that will be developing. Wave heights at around 6 to even 7 feet in some cases too. So already it's getting pretty active out there. A little bit lower farther out towards sea, but that may be picking up too with these waves of low pressure that will be passing through. We've had one area of low pressure passing through this morning, a little bit of snow occurring as a result of that. Not a whole lot, but there's more activity where that came from, and that's this area of low pressure right here. It will start off as snow for some places, switching over to rain as temperatures rise coming up. So here's Futurecast. Again, there is a snowfall arriving this afternoon. As temperatures rise, we'll switch over to rainfall, staying as snow farther off towards the north, hence why the winter weather advisory. This will last until early Thursday morning. Before we get it out of here, some snow showers returning as we head towards your Thursday. And then once we head towards Thursday night, the gusty winds really get going. Some leftover snow showers by early Friday morning. Here's the thinking on the snow chances. A wide range of 2 to 5 inches. Further off towards the North Caribou could see a lot more as well. Further down toward the south, obviously, with the switch over to rain, a lot lower snow totals expected. But for today, here we go. So mostly cloudy, afternoon rain and snow opportunities with highs in the upper 30s. This high temperature hit late in the day with that south wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, lower 30s for the overnight low, mostly cloudy, rain and snow. Southwest wind at around 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mid-30s, mostly cloudy, snow showers. West wind at around 25 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Stone Artisans. Mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid-20s, upper 20s coming up for your Saturday under a partly cloudy sky, and snow chances coming up for your Sunday with highs in the upper 20s.
Maine's premier community radio station, Star 97.7. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years with Paul and Mike in the morning. Local weather with Steve McKay and Michael W. Hale in the afternoon. Star 97.7.
Mainers know what hard work looks like. And when it comes to quitting smoking or vaping, they don't give up. Because Mainers know every quit attempt is a step in the right direction. And you don't have to quit alone. The Maine Quit Link offers free help to stop smoking, vaping, and nicotine pouches, including personalized quit plans and free nicotine gum, patches, and lozenges. Because quitting tobacco with a little extra help is more successful than quitting cold turkey. Enroll online at mainquitlink.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Come home to the kitchen of your dreams. At Atlantic Designs, we redefine kitchen spaces, turning your dreams into reality. Our experienced designers ensure you get a stunning new kitchen while bringing function and style to every corner. Whether you're on a tight budget or ready to splurge, we've got the perfect plan for you. Your dream kitchen is closer than you think. So contact Atlantic Designs today and start the process. Your dream kitchen awaits with the kitchen people at Atlantic Designs.
Judge Judy never misses a beat.
This is my playpen.
I get that, Your Honor.
Perfect.
Next is mental anguish.
Yours or mine? It's getting bad for you.
I don't understand why you're so upset with me.
Does this face look stupid to you? Am I doing all right?
Excellent.
That's what I like to hear.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Maine's premier community radio station, Star 97.7. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years with Paul and Mike in the morning. Local weather with Steve McKay and Michael W. Hale in the afternoon. Star 97.7.
Boys who play sports may be less likely to be aggressive with authority figures. Researchers tracked nearly 1,500 boys and girls between ages 6 and 10 who participated in organized sports and answers questions at ages 10 and 12 to gauge oppositional defiant disorder. The symptoms include persistent patterns of irritability, defiance, and hostility toward authority figures like parents and teachers. It can also lead to other neurodevelopmental disorders like ADHD and other learning disabilities. Results showed boys who stuck with organized sports showed fewer signs of defiance compared to those who participated less often. However, no benefit was seen with girls. Researchers say the findings support the idea that structured extracurricular activities can promote behavioral resilience. The study is published in the Journal of European Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. Well, one popular cookie snack announces a zero sugar option. Just in time for New Year's diet resolutions, Oreo has announced its latest sugar-free option. The company said that the original Oreo and the double stuff will now come in zero sugar options in the U.S. starting in January. This is the first time the company will sell the sugar-free option in the U.S., which they had already been doing in Europe and in China. The original Oreo cookie contains 13 grams of added sugars, while the new option will have none. The company says the new cookie sandwich comes as consumers seek out healthier snack options. Well, that is all the time that we have left for this morning, but as always, we thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great day.